Good morning, everyone. I'm Armaan Ahmed. And let me begin with a thought I once came across from Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and a Stoic philosopher. Each morning when you rise, you begin a war with your mind. Conquer yourself first, and the world is already yours. When I first read that, it struck me because every morning, battle begins between comfort and discipline, between excuses and action, between the weaker self and the stronger self waiting inside you to rise. And that realization led me to today's topic, from mind to body, the journey to wholeness. About a year ago, I asked myself, what's the point of having a strong body if your mind is weak? Or what's the use of a sharp mind if your body can't keep up? That question made me realize something big. Health is not just about six pack abs or top grades, it's about the harmony between the two, the body and the mind. Think of your mind as an iceberg. The tip above the surface is your conscious mind, logical, analytical, and the part of you that's listening to me right now. But the massive chunk hidden under the surface is your subconscious mind. That's where your habits, fears, and emotions live. It remembers everything, and I literally mean everything. For instance, take a random meal you ate 2 years ago on a rainy Monday, or the first homework assignment you forgot in your fifth grade. It remembers everything. And philosophers always reminded us, know the self and you will know the universe. But to know ourselves, we must understand this hidden mind. And to understand this, I started with my mornings. Waking up early is not just about discipline, it's philosophy in action. Marcus Aurelius once wrote in his journal, at dawn when you have trouble getting out of bed, remember, I must go to work as a human being. When I applied it, my mornings became way more clear. Instead of waking up half dead and rushing to school, I was waking up with clarity, direction, and purpose. But stress was still weighing me down. And believe me, stress is something you don't want to take. When you take stress, your body releases two hormones, insulin and cortisol. Too much insulin, you become resistant to it, and it can lead to diseases like thyroid. And cortisol, and I forgot to mention, cortisol is also known as the stress hormone. And it makes you gain more fat, and it blocks your growth receptors, and the cruelest part here is it can stunt your growth. So the short kings in the room take less stress. Who knows, you might squeeze out another centimeter. Okay, jokes apart. To fight stress, I turned to meditation. Just 10 minutes of sitting still and breathing deeply. At first, my mind was like a wild horse. I was jumping everywhere. But slowly, I learned to hold the reins. Then I added prayer, not because someone told me to, but because it centered me and again started my days on a more peaceful note. Now my mornings were perfect. Earlier I used to wake up half dead, I was rushing to school, and even in school I was not able to understand anything because I was sleeping in my classes. But now I go to school awake, alert, and ready to learn. And believe me, if you have a calm mind, even the most boring math problems feels, well, slightly less boring. And now after school I made it a rule, revise daily and finish my homework, because exam doesn't scare the prepared ones, right? It's like filling a bucket. One drop doesn't matter, but day after day, drop by drop, the bucket fills, and suddenly the fear of exam was gone. And now let's talk about body. At gym, when I curl a dumbbell, I'm not just lifting weights, I'm tearing myself apart. Microscopic level tears form in my muscle, and when I go home and rest and fuel with protein, that muscles repair and recovers themselves stronger. And that's the beauty of life. You have to break yourself to rebuild stronger, and this is progressive overload. Not just about muscles, but also life. You have to push harder every day, and strength follows. But it's not just about gym. It can be different for everyone. Like for me it was gym, but for someone it might be calisthenics or some kind of yoga or some kind of sports. I just want you to move because your body was meant to move, so don't let it rest. And now training is not only about the physical activity you do, it's also about the fuel you give it. Would you pour muddy water into a Ferrari? No, right? Then why do you fuel yourself with junk? Carbohydrates gives you energy, and if we are talking about the Indian diet, the main source of carbohydrates for us is rice. And now the most crucial part, protein. we mainly get protein from meat and vegetarian sources. We can count paneer, but it's very important for you because it repairs and recovers your body. And one more thing, your hair and nails are made up of protein. So if you have a protein deficiency, your body will compromise on your hair and nails. So that's a sign for you that you have to increase your protein intake. Now fats helps balancing in hormones, and not that much about it. And next we have fiber helps in clearing our digestion, and it's very important because even if you have a good diet and but you don't complete your fiber intake, you will not be able to absorb all the good nutrients you took in. That's why fiber in small amounts is important. Now finally, the icing on the cake is your micronutrients, micro minerals, micronutrients, everything like zinc, calcium, magnesium. You need them in very small amounts, but they'll make sure your engine keeps running smooth. And now finally, to close my day, and actually the most underrated weapon of all, sleep. We treat sleep like a luxury, and I want to ask a question here. How many of you slept last night 8 hours plus? Only. Yep. And what if I say even that 8 hours is not enough? Because I'll get there. We treat sleep like a luxury, but in reality, it's a charging station. Skipping sleep is like unplugging your phone at 30% charging and expecting it to last the whole day. But during deep sleep, your body releases hormones like growth hormone, testosterone, and estrogen. Everything that makes you grow taller, sharper, and smarter. And now I was about to say about deep sleep. Yes, deep sleep is only the time when your body releases very important hormones. And even if you have an 8-hour sleep schedule, your body will be in deep sleep for barely 4 to 5 hours. So in that 4 to 5 hours, your body has to recover itself, repair itself, secrete all these hormones, and absorb all the nutrients you took in. So it's not possible for your body. That's why you have to maximize your sleep to improve your health. And finally, here's where philosophy meets science. Before sleeping, I journal. Journaling helps me clear the battlefield of my mind. It's like I write down my wins, my mistakes, and everything I'm grateful for. It's like I clear the desk before a new day begins. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, I remember he used to do this too, and he wrote, I examine my days, reviewing my deeds and words. I hide nothing from myself, and I pass nothing by. And when I did that, I slept lighter, calmer, and ready for tomorrow's war. And now my days were going in a harmony. I wake up, conquer the first battle. I calm my mind through meditation and prayer. I sharpen it through revision. I strengthen it through gym. And finally, to close it, I close it with journaling and sleep. And at this point, I understood your mind and body are not two different things. You work on one, the other sharpens. You neglect one, both weaken. And finally, if I want you something to take away, it's this. Your mind and body are not two different parts. You have to work off both on them, and even if you work on one, the other will sharpen, and if you neglect one, both will weaken. And finally, to close, I'll return to Marcus Aurelius. Once he said, you have control over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. To me, this means if you conquer your inner world, the outer world will follow. And when your mind and body works together, you become unstoppable. And that's all I had to say. Thank you.